Alright, welcome back. In today's video we are going to create the functionality to drop the weapon, because right now if you equip the weapon, there's no way for you to drop it. You can only unequip it and then put it back uh in your inventory. And let me show you. And the first thing you can see right now is when we start the game, the weapon and the item, they have physics on them now, so they're not just floating in the air anymore. So let me pick up two weapon. Okay, so in your current project, whenever you press the button, it automatically equip whichever item you are clicking. So the way we're gonna have it set up is when you click it the first time, you have an additional window pop up. So for example, let's say if you wanted to add more information about the item, you can put them here. So I'm just showing you multiple ways, so that way if you don't, let's say you don't want to have the tooltip, but you want something like this, you will know how to do it. So that way, or if let's say if you don't want to do this, you can just simply keep the tooltip. And in the tooltip, you see we have a use item and drop item. So if you click the use item, it spawn the weapon in the back of the character, and if you press 1, it equips the weapon. Okay, and I have it on the keyboard B. If I press B, it dropped the weapon on the floor, and as you can see, it has a nice little physics. And I can pick it up again, and if I now let me show you. Now if I double click, it equipped the weapon. But I also need to hide this after I double click, so we'll fix this. Same thing for the secondary. Double click, put it on, and if we grab the client, make him come over here. Let's say client don't have no weapon and you want to be a nice guy. You say, oh, here you go, give you a weapon. So now the client can just say, thank you, sir. Grab it, double click, put it on his back, press 1. Try it out. Your weapon trash. Here's your weapon back. I don't want it. And so I say, thank you, sir. Put it on. And voila. And another thing too, and this is why I say I'm showing you multiple ways to do it. So if you want to do it however you want. Now, for example, let's say we have the item in our inventory. You can right click, and then you get this little drop down. There's a little bugs, I need to fix it. You can use item, right click, use item. I'm showing you different ways, so that way if you want your inventory to be a certain way, you can have it the way you want it. So with that being said, let's get started. And let me move this to the side. Okay, now this is the current project right now. No physics, everything is static, just dry. Press 1 to equip it. So the first thing we're going to do, let's start by giving the item some physics. Okay, so you have it somewhere like this. First thing we need to do, we need to make the weapon the parent of the sphere collision. So the first thing, we're gonna drop it here. Come on, it needs to be. Okay, so let's make this the default. Are you serious? Seriously? How did I do this? Okay, let's do this. Yeah, it needs to be. Come on. And this needs to be the child. Okay, so that's how it needs to be. So it's the weapon, the sphere, and the item. And then we grab the weapon, make it to the default scene root. Okay, so you will have it like this. It will be the weapon, the sphere, and the item. I know the widget probably gonna jump up to the top, but don't worry about this. So now, if you grab this sphere, okay, let me double check something quick. We need to go to the collision. It need to be custom. Put it on custom. Query only. Yeah, query only, no physical collision, and then ignore everything except the pawn. Make it overlap the pawn. And if you get take the weapon, custom, collision, enable, query and physics, and make it click, go like this. Ignore the visibility, ignore the camera, and then block the word statics, word dynamic, and then you can ignore everything else. And if you go to the viewport, click on the weapon. We need to select static mesh or skeletal mesh and check for physics and check it. Simulate physics, compile, save, and you can remove this. But when you do, what's gonna happen is it's gonna remove it from the AK. And here you can just right click, asset action, clear thumbnail, save. If you go to the child, and you see in the world the AKs, they don't have any skeletal mesh, so we need to go and add it back. So now they reappear. So let's push it up, okay, so you can see the physics. See, it just fell into the ground. Now you're gonna come across another problem. So when we try to equip, oh, it just slide through. So we need to disable the physics when we're trying to equip the item. So if you go here to the primary and the secondary where we spawn it and add it to the character, so we need to click on that, drag this a little bit, say set collision enable for the sphere to no collision, and then say set simulate physics for the weapon and set it to false, and you can plug this back up. So now when I pick up a weapon, primary, equip it, now see, now everything is working. So let's do the same thing for the secondary. Go here, slide this back a little bit, plug this up, and hook these up. Now we're gonna have another issue. If we go to the main item, the master item, let's show the sphere collision so you can see. So now if I go and pick up a weapon, right, equip the weapon, and let me move over here. Now if I take the client, walk over here behind this guy, see, I snatch his weapon, even though the client can still see it, but now I snatch his weapon. Now see, and we don't want that because people can just walk up and then start stealing your stuff. So what we need to do, if you remember, in the master item, we check in to see can interact. to see if it's true. Only if it's true, we let this happen, like pick up the item and do whatever. So where we are equipping the weapon, the primary and the secondary, we need to set it to false. So set can interact to false. Let's do the same thing on the primary. Set can interact to false. Okay, so fingers crossed. Let's hope it works. So now, if I grab the client, interesting. Let's see. That's done the primary. This shouldn't happen. Should not happen. Okay. Give me 1 second, I'll be right back. Okay, after a million years of scratching my head, pulling my hair, I finally figured it out. So what you would do is, at first you had it like this. Okay. So what you need to do, you need to drag from here and set not boolean, and plug it up. Okay. And still do the same. Set it to false when you equip the secondary and the primary. Oh no, set it to true. That's what I meant. True. Set it to true. Okay. Set it to true on the primary and on web notify right here for the both of them. So now let's hope this thing doesn't make me a liar. Now if I equip the primary, got the client, now I can take it. See, nothing is happening. Okay, so let's continue. Let me go back to my main HUD and remove it, because I was testing to see what was going on. Okay, so now we have it where we can equip the weapon. Press 1. Oh, okay. Yeah, I didn't show you guys. I was just testing. I didn't show this yet. So let me go back. Act like you didn't see this. Let me go back. Equip primary. Yeah, you didn't see this, okay? So let's have server equip primary. I will show you what I just did here in a minute, but you didn't see this for now. Let me delete this. Server equip secondary. That's how you should have it if you're following with me. When you grab the weapon, yeah, you should have it like this. So now what we are going to do, we're going to implement a way for us to drop the weapon on the ground so other people can come and pick it up. Okay, so let me close this tab, let me close this and go to the character, and let's start clapping some of these two nodes so we can have some place to work with, something to work with. Clap to node, node equip primary, and you can just snatch it here. It's more clear. And node equip secondary. And put it here. Equip secondary weapon. Okay, let's move this up. Now let's go to the project settings and let's add a button so we can drop our weapon. So we say drop weapon. Okay, and go back to the character. Click on drop weapon, and we need to create a custom event as always, because we are creating a multiplayer game. Stuff needs to happen on the server and the client. So we say custom event server drop weapon and reliable, because we want this to always happen. And we say MC multiclass drop weapon. Set it to multiclass reliable. And then before I forget, let's go MC drop weapon. And then here, let's call server drop weapon. Now we are down here. Now the first thing we need to check, because the current weapon could be any weapon. It could be the primary, it could be the secondary, primary, secondary. We don't know which one is which. You know what? Let me go turn off these red lines. Sphere. Hide them. Okay. Because the current weapon could be any of these, we need to check to see which one is which. So if we grab the current weapon, we get item info. We need to check if the current weapon class, if it's equals to the primary class. Okay, so we break this. We say if it's equal to the primary weapon ref, get the item info, break it, see if it's equal to this class. B for branch. If it is, for now let's print a string to see. Weapon is primary, to make sure. If it's not, weapon should be secondary. Okay, so let's go check. So now if I pick up the primary, equip it, and press B, weapon is primary. Okay, so if I take the secondary, equip the secondary, press B, weapon is secondary. So now we know which one we have in our hands. So with that done, we go on the inside of character, we need to add let's add a static mesh. We're gonna name it drop location. And if you grab it, and you can put it wherever you want, because we need you can get the player camera and do a line trace and all that from the forward vector and stuff like that. I don't like doing all that. I mean, I like to make my stuff very simple. So what we'll do, we go up the drop location, we say get world location, and then from the world location of the drop location, we're gonna say spawn actor from class. And because we are trying to drop the primary weapon, the class we're going to drop will be the primary. And we can split the pin and plug the connection to here. Okay, and after that, once we drop the weapon, we need to remove the weapon from the character's hand. And for the owner, we say self, and for the instigator, we say self also. So now if we go and check it out, we get the primary, click it, equip, press B, you see, it drop it, but we still have it in our hand. So we need to destroy this one in our hand, because technically we're just spawning a brand new weapon on the ground. But because we already create all the necessary function, we can simply say server destroy primary. Okay, and then the primary to destroy will be primary to destroy, and then we want the character to go back to the unarmed state. So we say server toggle character stand unarmed, and then now if we pick it up, equip it, we drop it, see, now the character go back. Okay, pick it up again, equip it, and we can drop it. Oh, drop it. Oh, for this, if you press V, yeah, you can toggle your character. I mean the camera, what you call this? I'll say switch shoulders and stuff. So yeah, it can also, the client can do, if the server drop the weapon. Let me do this. Drop the weapon with B. That is very interesting. And the reason why it spawned two weapon, it's because we're doing this multicast. Let me see. We should just do that. Oh, come on. If I pick it up. One. Yep, that's the reason why. Because we did it in multicast. I'm sorry for that. Because multicast, we replicated it on the client and on the server. Because we already doing it on the server, we don't need to do it on the multicast. So, but we can just remove this all together and then just plug this right here. This is my bad. I'm sorry. Yeah. So simply have the server spawn the weapon, and I'm glad this had happened, so that way you can see that my thought process when it comes to dealing with unexpected things. Okay, so now if I go pick up a primary weapon, equip it, and drop it, now the client can walk up. Thank you, sir. Pick it up, equip it, and he can drop it too. Okay, so we can repeat the same. Now we can repeat the same thing for the secondary. So what we can do, we can grab the current weapon again on false, because now this is checking to see, because now this is returning false if current weapon doesn't equal to the primary. So now we need to grab a branch again, and we need to check if current weapon class is equal to secondary class. Make sure you change this to secondary ref. Yeah. So if it is, we can simply copy all of this, paste it here, and the class will be secondary class. And remove this, say server destroy secondary, and secondary to destroy will be this. So now, if I grab secondary, equip the secondary, and I can just bam, drop secondary. Okay. And what is going on here? Oh, of course. So since the secondary, since we doesn't have since primary here is not valid because we don't have any primary, so we need to check before we even try to drop a weapon. We need to check to see if primary is valid. So is valid. Only do this is primary valid. If it's not valid, just directly go to the secondary to see if the secondary is valid, because we don't want to drop any weapon that we don't have. Okay, we to be sure, we can also say is valid here too. I know this has a bunch of nodes, but let's be sure. So this only happen if it's only let's make sure we can only drop secondary if the secondary is even valid. Okay, so now we can get secondary, okay, sign it, and then drop it, and no errors. Okay, so now that we are done with dropping the weapon, we can simply add a comment here, drop primary or secondary weapon. Now let's move on to the double click to equip primary or secondary. We need to go to inventory, we need to go to the widget, and we need to open, let's do the design part first. So if you got this, move this right here, lock it so I don't accidentally move it. We need to add a border, make it right, yep, and I just adjust it a little bit. Size, let's make it 300, and the height, we can make sure it's like that. Background, let's take a look. Yeah, we need to move it a little bit right here. Still have to move it a little bit more. Too much. Okay, Yeah, we can leave it. We can leave it right there. So let's make this 350, and let's take do this. Okay, and let's call it selected item. Let's name it selected item container. And inside of this, we need a canvas panel. Let me remove the padding. We need another border. Top 0, I believe 78, 75. Oop, 75. Let's do 78 and make it black. Not black. Let's make this color right here. Okay, let me just go grab this color. Oh, 0.7. Okay, so it's black, but it just need to be 0.7. Okay. So inside of here, we say selected header, and inside of here, we need to add a horizontal box. You can keep the padding. Add a text. Padding to the left. Let's make it 15, 18. Let's name it to selected text name. And we need to add another border to the canvas panel. Set it to fill, and then the top, let's make the top 80, so we can have some space. Right 5, bottom 5, and left 5. The color should be this color, I think. No, not this one. They need to be, oh, let's make it 0.7 then. 0.7. Yeah. And let's name this body. And let's name this the body. And let's add another horizontal box to the canvas panel, and set it align to the bottom 0, 0, and let's make the height 55, and let's put it all the way at the bottom, and the Y will be 1, and we need horizontal box inside. Oh, no, we need a button padding to 8. Yeah, 8. Get it, cover text. And why did I add a border? I need a button. It's padding 10. Normal to a box. Just grab the normal. Go to a box. To a box. All right, give me 1 second. And on the button, let's add a text. Select the text. Make it 15 for now. And let's say use item. The border, the normal for the background. We're gonna make it this. For the hover, make it this, but a little bit transparent. And for the press, we can make it this. And name this button use BTN. Set it to fill, and if you duplicate it, and this one can be drop BTN, and in here we say drop item. Let's go take a look, see how it looks. We might want to make this box a little higher, 70. Yeah, 60. And again, I'm not the best designer. You can make yours look however you want. Yep, and let's do this 1.2. Give it a little padding at the bottom. Yeah. So this one, let's lock it so that we don't remove it. And inside the body, add an image. Oh, no, we need a canvas panel first. 0. And what's this? Select the header, lock this one too. And let's add an image to the canvas panel. And send it top, -70. Let's say -190. Oh no, 0. 0.5. And top, let's put 40, 50. 100 by 100. Oh, maybe 200 by 200. Not here. 150. 150 by 150. Yep. And 130. This is 200. Yeah, let's leave it like that. And you can add a text for like description or whatever you want to add. Make sure like this. And you can add some text from the internet. Let's grab some text real quick. Give me 1 second. For design purposes, and here just paste the text. Say auto text wrap. Remove this first. Say auto text wrap. Then paste the text. Then you can size it up. Okay, forget about this text. You can just make the design however you like. I'm not gonna waste that. Alright, seriously? Delete. Yeah, so make the design however you like. And now, here you go. You can see it. Let me move this a little bit. Right there. Yeah, just right there. Okay, so by default, we want this to be collapsed because we don't want to see it when we open. We only want to see it when we click on the button. So to do that, we're gonna go back to the character and we're gonna add a new variable names called selected item. And yes, replicated, and in the inventory we're gonna create a binding for this. We're gonna say only show this if selected, if the class of selected item is true or is valid, or if is valid. If it is valid, we set it to true, but if it's not, we set it to visible, but if it's not, we collapse it. So to make it visible, an event graph and construct here, we go into here, we're gonna get from the player, we say set selected item to item info. Now if we pick up a weapon, click here, and as you can see, it shows. If you click like that, it goes away. And we can finish this by going to the graph, get the here, and we can character selected item name and selected item icon. Now if you grab the weapon, click on it, see, and like I said, you can make the design however you want to do it. Okay, so now to create the double click functionality, what we need to do, we need to get the selected item, get selected item. Okay, we need to check the class of the selected item to see if it's equal to the same class as the item info that we are clicking on. So item info, break it, see if it's the same class. If it is the same class, we simply gonna say, well, just use the item. Okay, let me do this. Oh, do that and delete this. Yeah, if the item are the same, if the selected item and the item we clicked on in the inventory are the same, we're simply gonna use the item. But if it's not from the player, we're going to say set selected item, no false, okay. And what we're going to set it to is the item info. Okay, now let's go take a look. To pick up a weapon, click it once, it shows over there, click it again, it equip it. So now if I pick up the primary, double click, boom, see? And you can also say from the character, after we use the item here, we can say, after we use the item, we can say from the character, we can set selected item to nothing after we double click it. So the can go away, you see? Click it once, it show, click it twice, boom, equip it, go away. But that will, let me see. Oh no, we can still use it. So if we go here on the inventory, down here with the use button, you can add an on-click event. You can get the character reference, or we can just, yeah, the reference, we can say use item, and the item info will be the selected item, because if you look at here, we don't have any item info because we are inside the inventory. Okay, so we get selected item and you just plug it up. And once after we use it, we can also say set selected item back to nothing, so that way the little widget can go away. So double click, select the item, use it, go away, select it, double click, go away. Okay, so let's add a comment. Let's say use item on button click. Now let's leave it like that. So now what we're going to also do is create the option part, drop down option menu. So if I grab this, when if I right click, you see, we're gonna create this. So the first thing we're gonna do, let's create the widget first. Option drop down, add a canvas panel, and add a, no, not a border, vertical box. Make it to fill, and let's add a button, or we can just go here, copy this button, delete this, paste it, and doop doop. Yep. In the vertical box, we can wrap it with a border. Yeah, like that. In the border, we can give it this color. So now, let me go check my notes real quick. And inside of the drop down option button, we in the event construct, we need a reference to the character. So get player pawn cast to your character player and here we need a function. So once we right click and then we hover out of the icon so it can destroy the widget. So what we need to look for the on mouse leave. Once the mouse leave this widget, so right now it's on the widget, once it leave, it will remove the drop down menu or options. So we say remove from parent, and the target will be itself because we are inside of the drop down widget. Okay, so inside of the inventory icon, we need a way to detect whether we left click or right click. Okay, so what we would do in the inventory icon, we will go to the inventory icon and we're gonna override another function. We're gonna go here, we say on mouse button down, and once we're gonna check is button down if it's equal to the right mouse. If it is, put a branch. If it is, we're going to get our player character, check to see if it's valid. If it is valid from our player character, we're gonna say set selected item, because we need whichever item we clicked on, we need the information of that item, so that way we can use the button. We say set selected item. We need to create widget, and the widget we are creating is the option widget, and we add it to viewport. Okay, and if we trying to create it right now, it's gonna be a full screen, and make sure you plug the return to false and make empty reply. Because right now if we go and check it out and we try to right click, you see, take the whole screen, but as soon as I remove my hand somewhere, it will move it. What we need to do, we need to say from the widget, we need to say set desired size in viewport, and the size we want will be 300. Let's make it 300 by 300. Okay, but we're gonna come across another problem. If I do that, you see it put it over there. These buttons are too big. We definitely have to adjust the buttons over here. I don't know why they're so massive, but we definitely have to adjust these buttons. Let me double check something. I believe in the vertical box we don't need to make it fill. Oh yeah, this, the let's remove this from here. Remove the size box. Add this to the border. And let me think. Let me see. We need to, yeah, here. Set this as size on the screen. Okay. And now to set the position of the mouse on the screen, we need to get the player controller, and we need to say get mouse position, and we need to say set position and viewport. And if we break this, not promoted, well, if we split this, we can just plug this up, and now I believe if we right click, it gets it over there, but it's still massive. Let me see, let me go see. Option drop down, vertical box, border. Let me redo this. So canvas panel. Maybe we do it. Canvas panel. We need to add a border. And we need to add a vertical box to the border. And on the border, let's make it 300 by 300. And we need to add a button and a text. The text, make it over here, padding 10, and the button, we can grab the button and make it a box and copy. I'm just doing a quick. And duplicate the button. 1, 2, 3, and padding bottom. Let's put 5. Duplicate. 3. Border. Make it 200. Yep, 200. Grab this. Yeah. And let me go see some. Aha, here we go. Now we're in business. Okay, so let's delete these two. And let's grab this one. Make the background this color. And for the hover, we do the same with a little bit of tint. And for the press, we'll do this. Get the text, make it about 15. And we can duplicate 2, 3. Now, right click. Yeah, right click. I have the button. So in the vertical box, let's add a padding of 8. So we can see. But the border, we need to make it a little bit lighter so we can see what's going on behind it. Click, there we go. And I believe I can do size the content. Yeah, size the content. And you create it like this. if you want that, but if not, you can just leave it like this. Make it about 180 or 170. Yeah, 170. And then we say use item, drop item, and I believe this one I said split item, or whatever action you want the third one to be, or you can just have it to be close widget. Okay, and then we name this close widget btn, drop item btn, and then use item btn. So since we're in the option, if we got the close button, go down, add on click, we can simply do the same thing. Remove from path. Now, if I right click, close, now you move it. See? But we don't want to be clicking on empty items and show it. Okay, so we go back to the icon here. Before we even create the widget, we need to get the selected item. We need to break it, get the class is valid, only if it's valid. We do this, we create the widget. If it's not valid, we just return this. So see, no item, nothing. Grab an item, right click. I need to fix this, because right now you have to literally click all over there like this. You can click down here to select close, and you can, to complete it, you can go to the options and use btn, click on that, grab the player, say is valid. If it is, we call the use item, and you guessed it, we get the selected item. You plug it over here, and then after we use it, we can just say remove from parent. So if I pick up a weapon, right click, use item, use it, and remove it. And you can also get the, where is this from? It's from the inventory. And after that, we can say set selected item to empty again, because we want to remove the one that's gonna show here. See, right click, use it, now it's gone. Yeah, and you can press 2, you can drop the weapon, you can pick it up again. So now let's go do the item montage that you see in the beginning of it, in the beginning of the video. So I'm gonna go to the animations, and I'm gonna look for equip rifle. So I'm gonna create a test one, but we need 2 item montage. We need one for the primary, one for the secondary, and I'm gonna tell you why. This one, let me name it temp equip, because I already have the montages that I needed. So double click it. We need this animation to be play on the top of the character, not the full body. We don't need the leg movement, because if we're running, we don't want to just slide in and play in this animation. So therefore we're gonna use the slot name. We're gonna make it upper body. And if you don't know where you can get the upper body, you need slot manager, add slot, and then you can name it. Okay, so you can close it. Nothing broke. Let's go back to doing the same thing. Now we're gonna go to your blend spaces, wherever you're doing your blend space. In your event graph, we're gonna get a reference to the character. And one thing I forgot to do, and temp montage, equip. What did I just call it? Yeah, temp equip. If you double click there, we need to add an event notifier. So for example, I already know where it will grab the weapon. So from here, 32. Matter of fact, let me see. I can't even say 34. We add a notifier. Say add notifier, and you can add the new one, and you can name it whatever you want to name it. So for this, for example, say temp equip, and compile and save, and you get on your on the blueprint in the event graph, you get a reference to your player, and then you call the anim montage temp equip anim montage, and then from this one, when it plays, you just call server equip primary. Okay, so because I have two of them, one named equip primary weapon and equip secondary weapon, I simply call, for the primary I say server equip primary, and for the secondary I say server equip secondary. What's happening is when this animation plays, whenever it hit this notifier, whatever function you call it here, gonna execute at that time. So if we go to the character on the weapon here, we can delete it, and you need to play another montage. But I already have a function says called server play montage, and the montage I need to play is equip primary. Since this is the primary, grab it, delete this one, and I can say server equip secondary equip. But what I need to do, I need to go remove these to 36, like right there. That's a good thing about notifiers, you can just move them if they don't align properly. So this is 34 here, move it to 34. So now when I press play, spawn the weapon, press 1, play it, and grab it. And I can repeat, spawn, play it, and grab it. Or we can make it a little earlier than that. And I believe same thing will happen for the client. Grab the client, equip the secondary, play it, and equip it. Bam, 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 bam. Okay, and then we can just drop it again, and we can repeat the same process. Ah, come on. There we go. Use item. Press 2. And equip it. Bam, 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 bam. For this, I will fix this problem. I'm gonna play with it, see what's going on, and try to get it fixed so that way we don't have to keep going. I think it's something to do with the mouse position. See? Because if I go like this, as soon as I move it, or I think what's going on is this one right here on leave. Yeah, but if we don't do that, yeah, see, if we don't do that, we're gonna have to always close it. We're gonna have to always close it. Yeah, and it's gonna keep doing that. So I will find a better solution for this. Or let me see. Delay. I don't like delays, but let's say tiny delay 0.02. Let's see how this affects our menu now. There you go. It worked. Nah, still not working properly. But it's better than the first time. All right, so this is the end of today's video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.